Sure, the lock screen looks a bit different, and if you swipe up from there, you'll quickly see all of your notifications. But after you get past that, it's pretty much the same iOS design you've been using for the last few years. Swipe right to get to the Today page, swipe down from the top for notifications, you know the drill. When you swipe up from the bottom of the screen though, you'll find a dramatically revamped control center. Gone is the two-screen format from last year. This time around, Apple crammed all the control center shortcuts into one screen. And I'll admit, it feels a bit jumbled at first. The icons aren't exactly hard to figure out, but they're so close together it always takes me a second to figure out what I need to hit. In addition to buttons, there are also sliders for quickly changing your brightness and volume. Media controls now have their own dedicated spot in the control center, but you can also jump deeper into them with a 3D touch tap to move around the track, and you can also quickly switch between different devices that you're playing on. That's useful if you need to choose between multiple wireless headsets or AirPlay devices. Thankfully, you can customize the crowded control center to your liking. You can add and remove shortcuts as well as change their placement on the screen. Don't be surprised if the control center starts to fill up the majority of your screen as you add more icons though. While it won't be useful for everyone, I also appreciated being able to quickly record my iPhone screen from the control center. Aside from that, most of the iPhone-specific changes in iOS 11 are relatively minor. The app switching view is more card-like, and the App Store and Messages apps get a redesign resembling Apple Music. Once again, Siri is just a tad bit smarter. She sounds more natural, and she can translate sentences into Spanish, French, German, and Mandarin.
In Spanish, where is the library is? ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Developers will also be able to take advantage of Siri's machine intelligence in their apps. In Apple Music, for example, she can play music personalized to you. And Siri also works as a bit of a DJ now. You could ask her to play something sad, and she'll compile a list of tearjerkers. Apple Music is also a bit more social in iOS 11. Now you can follow other users and share your playlists. Yes, those are all things Spotify has offered for a while, but it's nice to see Apple finally offering them. When you hold down the emoticon or global icon in the keyboard, you can choose from one-handed orientations that push all the keys to the left or the right. I ended up using that feature quite a bit while riding on the subway. It's how I wrote a big part of this review. If you've ever missed the iPhone 5's tiny screen and keyboard, you'll really appreciate this. Eventually, you'll also be able to send money to your friends with Apple Pay through the Messages app. Apple's ARKit platform also means we'll be seeing a whole new batch of augmented reality apps that are light years beyond Pokemon Go. IKEA has already announced an app that'll let you accurately view how furniture fits in your home. Based on the demos we've seen, it does a great job of rendering furniture in physical spaces, but it's unclear how well that'll work on older phones. When it comes to the iPad, iOS 11 delivers some dramatic changes. The most obvious one, Apple has now brought back the dock, which first debuted in OS X, over to iOS. It replaces the bottom row shortcuts that you're used to seeing on the home screen, but the big difference is that you can now swipe up from the bottom of the screen in any app to make the dock reappear. That lets you easily jump between your shortcuts and running apps. A longer swipe brings up windows showing off everything you're running, along with the control center on the right side of the screen. On the larger screen, the new control center doesn't seem nearly as confusing as it does on the iPhone. The dock opens up entirely new methods of multitasking in iOS. Now you can drag an app up and have it appear in a tiny window on the side of the screen. Even better, you can drag and drop text and images between those. It's particularly useful with the new Files app since you can easily save images and other files from the web, but you could also quickly throw an image into an email. If you prefer the old split-screen multitasking mode, you just have to swipe down on the smaller window. Clearly, iOS 11 is Apple's biggest attempt yet to transform its mobile OS into more of a desktop platform. Just slap a keyboard on an iPad, and all of a sudden you've got a decent laptop replacement. It's just a shame that while Apple is focusing on the iPad, it lost sight of any truly significant changes for the iPhone. But with the iPhone X coming up, there's a good chance we'll finally see some big iOS changes on phones next year.